So as much as I get the travel itch, it's also about like, how do I really like stay home and be intentional about like what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and like building roots in a place, which is hard after years of just like not having roots. So just learning how to do that.
Yeah, and that's all the learning, right? Um, hey, I realized that I just hit record without giving you any warning, and also that we have lag, and yeah, I know. Your roll with the punches kind of human.
Oh, yeah. Well, I only have till 8 because I have a DAS breakfast thing and I have to walk Daisy. She's
Mm.
currently sleeping behind me.
And you're in New York
Hmm.
with Daisy?
With Daisy, you want to see? I was like, hold on, I don't
Um,
even take this
and
off. Let me see her. Let's see this about here. Uh, it's not really good looking camera now. It's all right.
that's
I'll
okay.
show you.
And just so I understand, it's 7:20 now, right?
Yes, 7:20.
Nice. Perfect.
Yeah.
Um, So I obviously think you're wonderful, and I
Mm.
know some of the work that you do and all of these things, but could you give me and anyone else who listens a little about Vic, a little background of the wonderful
Uh,
human that is Vic?
So, Vic, Vic. Um, so hello to anyone listening. Thank you so much for having me here, Ty. I appreciate that. Um, so my name's Victoria. I'm originally from the West Coast, from Southern California. I'm a recent New Yorker. I moved here about 3 years ago. I've been a founder for 5 years. Um, what a journey that has been. When I set out to be a founder, it was not of what I'm currently doing. So it has been quite a lesson in humility and patience and resilience. I can say those are three adjectives that describe my founder journey. Um, I currently own an agency that does embedded business operations and digital marketing support for busy solopreneurs and service providers. So other agencies, basically. That's my first business, and it's been great. We serve agencies in all different laterals and industries. And a lot of what we focus on is how do we embed into your business to help you scale and build sustainable processes. And then 6 months ago, the business just completely changed with the rise of AI. And I have had to drink water through a fire hydrant once again,
Yeah.
to upskill my entire team and myself to make sure that we have a competitive edge. So when I talk about business, embedded business operations, it's no longer just like building fundamentals and project management in your SOPs, but how do we apply AI to everything our founders do to make their lives easier? And how do we make strategic recommendations and not just get shiny object syndrome, which is really important, and then on the marketing side is how do we help you as a founder build your voice in your niche for you to be well known in your industry? And then how do we help your brand to be recognizable, especially those small boutique niche brands and founders that are more white glove that maybe are not going to compete with a Fortune 500 company, but still add a lot of value to their local communities. Like those are the brands that we work with. And then on the other side, I actually am a founder of a brand called Minding Her Own Business, which started off as like, what lives on the other side of this fear? Oh, I should start a podcast, and has kind of snowballed into this like really beautiful, living, breathing business and brand that really serves women in all phases of their career. We focus on networking, community, and education. So part of minding her own business is actually working on teaching women how to adopt AI in their work and in their personal lives because we statistically have a 50% slower adoption rate than our male counterparts, whether that comes from like fear of losing our job or just like not having the time to invest or that insecurity of like, well, I get in trouble for doing this. Like, I want to show my authentic worth and it's putting us
Yeah.
behind, especially for women of color. So, we've really been
Mm,
diving into that. We do in-person events, we do webinars, we have a weekly newsletter that goes out, and then of course our podcast still features women in leadership roles of all different sectors that just come on, they tell their story about how, girls are the ultimate multi-hyphenate. We do all the things and we make it work. I don't know how, but we do. So that's my long TLDR, but
yeah.
we've been working on some really cool stuff and I don't think I've even gotten to tell you all of this.
No, I know. That's what I was thinking. Like, I think that out of everybody that I know, you are like so good at just getting things done. And there have been, I won't like, name any like projects that you've worked on or like, but I've seen you just like run projects and teams and all sorts of whatever it is that needs to be done and do it at such a high level that I have. I don't know if I've seen any other individual like doing so much and taking so little credit, like being so humble about it. Um,
Oh, thank you.
and and also to just um, add more to this praise is I put you in touch with a friend of mine, Sasha, and she talked to you and like immediately after text me and was like, "Oh my god, Victoria is awesome!" Like, thank you so
Gosh,
much for.
that's it's so
Yeah,
lovely.
yeah, yeah. I thought you guys would get
Oh,
along.
yeah,
You're
she's
both kicking
wonderful.
butt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. There's so many threads to pull on. Um. What's exciting for you right now? Like, uh,
What is
there's all of
exciting?
this stuff going on, and you've got a ton of like you've got more opportunities than you can count probably. What do you wake up like excited about a particular tool or avenue or person that you're working with? Like, what makes you feel like a 5-year-old on Christmas?
What's most exciting, I think, is about, like, building something brand new. So, like, when I wake up in the morning, I'm just like, I am learning every single day. There's not a day that I wake up and I do not learn something. We're like, the way the business has been going, it's been a lot of, like, me having to jump in, coach people, give feedback, but also give my team time to play. Like, I make it mandatory, minimum 2 hours a week. You have to go learn something and then present it to me. What did you learn? What kinda AI did you use? How did you apply it? And then you teach everyone, because that's how we're all going to upskill together. So that's been just an exciting initiative. I think a big part of who I am as a leader. I've been leading teams for, geez, 15 years now. Most of my career has been in like middle management before I became an exec. And the lesson that I've learned is like, how do I teach people to be independent? How do I really show them how to fish for themselves? And with this new era of AI, it's just been so inspiring and cool to see this, young 24-year-old who's never touched Higgsfield in her life. And all of a sudden, she made this beautiful brand campaign using a couple of tips and tricks that I taught her to get started. And then she just like catapulted into this level of expertise that I personally did not have. So just, it's kind of like, I'm not a mom, but I can imagine that's what parents feel like when you see your kids conquer something and then just become like a level more than anything you could have imagined. Like that's what's happening on my team daily, and it's really cool to watch. It's so
Can you
amazing.
can you tool drop for me? Like, what are you using?
Oh my
Um,
god. I mean Claude Cowork, my best friend, Claude Code. Anything Claude, and we call her Claudia. I have a lot of team in Latin America. So her name is Claudia. And ChatGPT was Chat Daddy, but he got canceled. He was irreverent. He has his uses, but he's our side piece now. Claudia's our main girl. We run most of our business ops off of Claudia, and then I love Whisper. I used to I'm really fast at typing, like, I've had people sit next to me on a plane and go, "I've never seen someone type as fast as you," and I think I became a fast typer because my brain is just trying to dump everything out before I forgot it, and now with Whisper, I can talk faster than I can type, and that thing, like, flies with me.
Is
I think
that
my
Super Whisper?
there's not a Super Whisper, it's just Whisper. I haven't used it.
I
Is there actually a tool called Super Whisper? Whisper?
I use a tool called Super Whisper, and I think it's the same, but maybe it's yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
No, I didn't know that. That's cool. I learned something new, but I love Whisper. I love
okay,
Higgsfield. Higgsfield just saved me $10,000 because it can
wow,
now animate graphics. And I think that the whole creative community is shitting themselves because we don't need animators the way we did 6 months ago, and they're overpricing themselves out of the market. I have a lot of thoughts about creative. But yeah, I love Higgsfield. Gemini
very
is
very
great.
quickly. What does Higgsfield do?
Higgsfield can take and generate any image. It can also animate images. It can edit images. It can take a static graphic and make like a cool vibey background from it. So as part of digital marketing, a big part of what we do is like we need visuals. We eat with our eyes most of the time before we read copy on anything. So it helps elevate our visuals and saves my team so many hours a week on work. I also love Opus. Opus AI is great. So, like, for example, if we record my podcast on Riverside, we drop the video into Opus. And not only does it cut reels and like video shorts, but it helps detect what's going to be the most viral. And we've been A B testing it, and it's actually pretty spot on.
Really
So, it's helped the YouTube
interesting.
channel grow. It's been very fun to play with Opus.
Okay, cool. Um, I'm super. Oh, I almost had a bug land on me. I've got a. I've got no windows here, um,
That's
which is very
wild.
nice for living in nature, but it's also like I'm living in nature.
There's, like, bugs at you. No, I could never. I need at least a mosquito net to freak out.
It's okay. I got one of those. It's just,
Okay, okay, okay.
um, interesting. Okay. So, this is for, um, these are the tools that you're using. I'm super curious on your thoughts on creative because obviously this whole industry is changing and like I have this thesis and I'd be curious if you agree with this. And I'm sure it's not mine. I picked it up from somewhere. That the jobs are actually going to be relatively consistent, but the tasks that we do in these jobs change. Like, how's that changing for you, and how's it different for your team? Like, one of the things that I kind of want to touch on throughout this series, throughout this podcast, is like, yeah, AI is changing the way we work, but it's actually changing it often for the better, or it's just that, like, if we can adapt with it, it makes our roles different and fun. We're not necessarily replaced by these things.
Sure. Well, one, I think I personally live in an echo chamber right now. I work in tech. A lot of my founders are in tech. So my consumption of AI and my application is a lot faster than I think an average American. Yeah, I'm dating myself. I'm an American, right? When I ask my family about AI, like they use it like they use Google, if they use it at all. Like they're still Googling. And so I think because I live in an echo chamber, I try to give myself both sides of perspective. I think for the industry that I'm in, I'm seeing it change the way that we operate. I think that if you're a really smart person, you will become even smarter because of how you're asking it questions. And I think that AI gives you the ability to act on your brilliant ideas at a much faster rate and a much lower cost. Like, I'm not a coder. I'm not a graphic designer. I can't use After Effects very well. I have like rudimentary skills, but put me in front of an AI um, product and I can code anything and I can make you beautiful brand identities at a fraction of the time. And I can build website skins and I don't have to manage a photo shoot for 20 grand when I can pull inspo on Pinterest, give it my likeness, and all of a sudden I just got updated brand photos. And I think that as a founder, especially when you're bootstrapping a business, is so nice to have. Like, I don't need to spend as much time generating aesthetic content for my personal brand or for my clients because all of that is done through AI. At the same time, I think there's like an important note that we must honor the creatives. The creatives have a different way of thinking, a different way of approaching problems, and they have years to craft their art. I think what we'll see is like creatives will now be creative directors. They'll help with storyboarding. They'll help with envisioning what this whole world will look like. But I think a lot of the like menial editing and administrative tasks will now be offloaded to AI. So if you're a post production editor, like if you are doing things manually, you're out of a job because your supervisor knows how long it should take you to use with AI. Like, I really think it's going to look like that. Like, you're not going to lose your job because of AI. You'll lose your job if you're not using AI. That's the way that I see the future going. And there's like a bit of a gray area, and I'll give you like an example. So a year ago, I had a designer make 3D concepts for me. The project was handed off. We paid a five-figure sum for X amount of images. He did a beautiful job, and this was before AI could do any of this. So he did it all manually and like very much. He's a premium designer, that's 3D artist, right? Now a year later, same client, she needs a different version of an object that was created a year ago. I did not commission the same designer to make it. I commissioned AI to make it because I didn't have to pay anything for that. And so someone reached out and was like, "Well, I wouldn't be happy if you did that to my work. I think you should talk to them. I think they should receive compensation." And I was like, "Well, it's the same as like you giving me my brand identity and my logo and my color palette and me riffing off it. It's not that I'm stealing your work because it's an entirely new design. We're inspired by what we made and we need more assets. We just didn't hire them to do that." And so I think that there's going to be this like push and pull of like what makes sense, what is fair. And like, I don't have that answer, but like logically, the way that I approached it was if I commissioned you for this and you hand it off, it becomes my property because I paid you for it. And now I can do with it what I want.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, that's really hard
Super.
for some people to think about.
Totally, but it's, and I can see both sides of it, right? I can see it as the
Absolutely.
artist, you know, and I can also see it as the person who commissions the artist. But it's not the tools change, and the like. So you could have taken without AI, you could have taken the object and you could have hired somebody else that was cheaper to basically reproduce that thing, but at a different angle or a different orientation, whatever it is, right? In the same kind of vein, um, you've done this with AI, and I kind of see it as like all of this stuff is cheap now, and if you look at like economic supply demand, um, like because these
Because
things
these
are cheap. Oh, I'm getting feedback. Um, not anymore. Because these things are cheap, the like real talented designers, people who are producing things that are actually quite unique, in different forms, like that stuff is going to continue to be unique. It's just, it's hard to imagine what those things are, but maybe it's always been that way, right? Maybe it's always been that, like, it's hard to imagine what a designer might come up with the tools that they had available 10 years ago because you're not a designer and you didn't come up with the thing that they did. Um, I do think that it's moving at a faster pace. It's just like,
I think it's moving at a faster pace. I also just think that like people who are creative but maybe never had the resources to go to school to be a creative now have creativity at their fingertips. Like I can speak for myself. Growing up, I was told like get a very practical career. Like there's no time to be an artist. Like you need to make money. So I did. I went out, I made money, but like intrinsically I am a creative. I see these beautiful pictures in my head, and it's funny because when I work with my designer, she starts at the beginning. She's very like she follows her methodology. Step one, let's come up with like how do we want the brand to feel, and then she gives me like three logo and color palette options and typography options, and then she gives me a mood board, and then she develops the design and the aesthetic, whereas I'm the opposite, like, I need, and, like, I'm such a '90s kid when I say, like, I want a scrapbook and, like, grab magazines and make you this, like, collage, right? Now Pinterest is my scrapbook, but I wanna get on Pinterest. I wanna just, like, throw all of these different, like, textures and colors together and give that to you, and then go, like, "Make me a brand identity that feels like this," and my designer and God bless her because I've been working with her for 2.5 years. She's fantastic. She's very patient with me because I drive her insane. But then one day I got it in my head, like, what if I just like throw it into AI and like don't drive Ariana crazy? And it actually gave me like a whole identity much quicker. And we got to an end result and I showed it to her. She's like, oh my God, this is like really scary. Because it would have taken me a few rounds to get what you meant. Cause like I did not get this crazy this time, Vic. And so
yeah,
it's like kind of cool to see. And like someone who's not classically trained can get to a really nice end result a lot quicker than like having to iterate back with other people. Like, not that I don't love doing that, but in that moment, it was like, I'm just curious on what's going to happen. But I also think like going to like, I'm skipping topics. I'm such a bad like guest on podcasts, but something I want
we're,
to
we're on a
share.
conversational adventure.
Yeah. Something I want to share if you're listening, as much as I'm an AI nerd, I'm like a people first AI builder. I don't think that humanity will ever be in a place where we eliminate relationship building or community. And I think that's so critical. I truly believe that AI will make us more productive and then we'll have more free time to like pour into our lives, to pour into our relationships, to pour into our people. Because I think that's what life is really about. Like we all of a sudden are opening up this new type of luxury where more of the middleman and like less of the 1% will have an opportunity for leisure in a way that's unprecedented.
Interesting. Yeah. Um, do you do you find yourself spending less time working these days because of AI, or are you doing the same crazy
I
juggle?
mean, I'm obsessed. So I have to put guardrails because I'm such a builder. But I will say, like, my productivity has skyrocketed. So, like, the amount of things I can do in a day, like, I was a beast before, but, like, there's no stopping me now. But at the same time, I think as a human, because I know my job is done, I actually am very mindful of, like, "Hey, you're not working the weekend." Like, yes, you can
Yeah,
build. Yes, this is, like, super exciting, but everything is done. Everything is taken care of. Like, go enjoy the world. And
yeah,
I think, like, you've been friends with me a long time. I used to work a lot on the weekend, and so now I have really healthy boundaries. I do a lot of like networking or like dinners or just like fun stuff during the week. And then I always tell my team who like we have actually an all female team. If Pilates
yes,
at lunch is not an option in your schedule, then you're not managing your time accordingly. Like my expectation is that they manage their time and they do the things that they love because I have learned over the years that if you're not doing the things that you love, what's the point of working so hard? And so that's
yeah,
my personal philosophy. I've learned through like multiple rock bottoms and burnouts and like health problems, but that's not for everyone. So we'll see. We'll
Do
see where
you
the world goes.
do you have a way of like helping people manage their expectations or like doing some kind of capacity management? And I'm asking from a personal place because I also need these guardrails, otherwise I'll just like, you know.
Yeah. Um, I operate on deliverables. So a lot of times it's you on your work stream. What are you supposed to deliver daily, weekly, monthly? Did you get it done? Did you balance that and get it done in the midst of being handed a project? We talk about how long the project is going to take you and the impact of that on your evergreen work. I have a lot of conversations with my people. I'm still very hands-on in my business. So we have daily stand-ups. What are your top 3 rocks today? What are you focusing on? And then at the end of the week, it's what did you learn? What did you take away? What was hard? What was a blocker? And then if there's ever a point of contention, it's like, let's get on a call immediately. Like, I don't let resentment fester because that impacts work culture. If everyone knows, like, it's my best and worst quality. I'm honest to a fault, and you will 1000% know where you stand in your work with me.
Yeah, cool. Um, I had a thread that I wanted to pull on, but this is it. In your work, are you like? But you talked earlier about helping people learn about AI. What mediums is that through? Like, if and I ask because I have this friend, Audrey, who wanted to learn about Claude Code, went along to a Claude Code thing, and was like, "Oh man, this is way over my head." Like, how do people start?
School communities are great. School.com, SKOOL. That's great. There's one called AI Automations I really like. I'm also a partner at Myosin XYZ, and like we have an AI enabled marketer community that's pretty phenomenal. We just started that a couple months ago, and the team there is crushing it. I love those. I also like Maven. Maven is an education platform. You can learn a lot through there. My friend Will teaches on there, and actually, I'm teaching on there starting next month, so that's very exciting. YouTube's great too, and honestly, like asking Claude to teach you how to use Claude is not off the table.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, interesting. It's one of those things that seems like it's going to be scary, and then you start asking questions, and you go like, maybe I could just get you to do this.
Yeah, it's really that. And I think like if you're listening and it feels daunting, just ask the LLM questions. Like let it know, like, hey, I'm kind of nervous about this. What are the best tools or resources? Do you think you can help me? Should I go elsewhere? And it does a pretty good job. I probably yell at least once a day not to lie to me because it so hallucinates. But other than that, it works.
I had just to give this a little bit of context, and this might be something that you're interested in actually. Today, my friend River and I were building the prototype for this pet care LLM. So it's a RAG system where you would say, "Hey, I have this pet Daisy. Here's Daisy's last medical documentation." Like you can basically feed the LLM, create a profile for your pet, and then you can chat to it, and it knows all the information about your dog, and then it will give you like reminders that, oh, you need to go to the vet, or I don't know, that they need this in their diet. Anyway, we're like mocking this up, and I asked the AI to do something, and it told me how to go and do it, and I was like, no, this is what you're here for. Like, can you just run those commands? And it was like, oh yeah, I can do that. And then it went off and did the work and came back, and I was like, what? Don't ask, stop giving me tasks. I
Don't
don't
make
want
me
the
do
tasks.
more work. That's your job.
And then sometimes it'll like push back, and it'll be like, no, I actually can't do this. You have to go to this website and click through here. And every time that happens, I'm like, fuck, okay, fine.
Yeah. I can't just explore Bali today.
No, I find myself spending a lot of time working, but like you say, being way more productive than I otherwise, have been in the past. I think I can probably get down now in a month what would have taken me a year. Um, and now the bottlenecks are things like decisions, like coordinating. So we've got a little lag.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um, so the last guest that I had left a question for my next guest, and I would like
Ooh,
to give it to you here because
okay.
I am conscious of the time. Um, so the question is, if you had the opportunity to give a high school graduation speech to your high school self, what
Oh,
would be the thesis statement? What would the speech be about?
that's such a beautiful question. It's funny. I was thinking about her the other day too. I think about her often. Um, if I had to give a high school speech and a thesis, um, I think I would hit on uh, you. You don't have a lot of time, but life is long. So pivot and follow your gut. Um, I think for context, high school me really thought that there was already a plan and was very focused on like meeting expectations of those around her. And she didn't really know who she was yet. And like, you never have enough time, but life is really long and there's so many opportunities to reinvent who you are if you're willing to put in the work. And I know for myself, I've been multiple species of butterflies at this point. I'm in my mid 30s now. And when I think about her, I don't think she would recognize me today, but I think she'd be really proud of who I've become because she and I are still the same, but the parts of her that were scared of showing up or being in the spotlight or of being too much are no longer there. Because I'm a lot. I'm a lot in like the best possible ways. And I think that as a young woman, I really struggled with like being smart and really wanted to be likable and like really downplayed how like good I was at things. And at this point, and like you said it at the beginning, like I still don't talk about it, but you can see it through the work, right? You see the results of what I do, and I don't really hide the work. Um, and I think that that has truly been a transformative part of who I've become. And just like learning that self confidence and like learning who I am and like setting boundaries for myself and saying no. No is the hardest word for me to say because I'm such a yes woman. Like I pour into my people, I'm all or nothing. Like I love hard. And that has always been the case, but there was always this trepidation of like, what if I do all these things? Like, what are people going to say? Like, I don't really care what people say anymore. So if I had to
Yeah.
tell her anything in a high school speech, it would just be like, if it doesn't work, baby, pivot. Like, you'll figure it out. The money will come, I promise. You have to believe in yourself more than anything else, and everything else will follow.
I see you kicking ass. I'm so glad that you don't let the that now you're like good with being so capable and letting people see it. Because yeah, I've seen you deliver crazy amounts of work and like really take responsibility for it as well. Um, which is yeah, I think it's rare and it's rare to find someone who's so humble and so good at what they do.
I'm still an omnivore. Like, I don't put me in a networking room with like 1,000 people that I don't know. I don't want to be there. But put me in like a small, intimate VIP dinner or something, and I'm really happy. And then I'll go like recharge later with the dog and like watch a movie or read a book. I've been really like focused on less TV, more fun book time.
Interesting. Is there anything that you're working on right now, like in your either career or personal life, like any skills that you're like, this is for, 10 years down the road, but this will be really important.
Ooh. Okay, so personal life, I I know deep down in my soul I'm going to be an author one day. I've always loved reading. The second I could read, my parents will tell you I was probably 5 years old reading every single label in the grocery store, annoying them. Um, so I'm such a storyteller. I think that I'm going to write some like amazing best-selling romance novel because it's it's my like favorite genre and like don't come at me. So like that's really fun. Personal life, I'm a part of a couple book clubs, so I'm always reading whatever, like trying to keep up with book club in between all of like the other things that I do. And then I'm working on mastering the Pilates reformer because it's really hard and I'm not a balanced person. And so I think it's good to have this like whole person approach to like mental health. Like it starts with like the inside out, but like the out matters. And like when I move my body, when I'm intentional about making it to the gym, I just feel more confident. I feel more grounded. I feel healthier and better. And so I think personally, I'm having a lot of those like as I get older, that balance will never be there, but how do I invest in like a healthy future so that I can be an author and do all the other things that I want to do after my tech career has kind of went wound down?
I like this idea of balance, but the idea of that balance is not a stagnant, it's not a stationary place, it's actually rebalance. Balancing is, oh, I'm a bit far this way, oh, I'm a bit far this way, oh, like to balance is really to adjust things. So there's like this fallacy of that if you're balanced, you're just in one place. It's like, no, you're on both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, I always think of it like there's a ball and there's a board on top of the ball, and my feet are on either side. Like, how do I push weight on one side versus the other? And I think I've gotten a lot better at like knowing when to push and pull. Like, I really am intentional about my time. Like I will block my afternoon so that I can get quality work done. I go to bed early, and if I'm going to go out dancing on a Sunday night, and my one of my best friends knows this, I'm so down, right? And at the same time, I know that like I'm still responsible for getting up at 5 a.m. the next day. So then the next day I'm gonna take a nap. And so I think it's just knowing yourself, knowing what your limits are, but, like, don't say no to fun. I think that I used to say no to fun a lot, and I made a promise to myself last year that I was just gonna do it because there's only so many years that I'm gonna have in me to, like, wanna go dancing on a Sunday night before a work week, and if I can do it still, like, why not? Like, there's no harm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, is there a question that you would ask for the next person that I speak with?
Yes. If you here we go. What do you think the world will look like when you're 80? What do you want to bring
Whoa.
with you? And what do you want to
Hmm.
bring with you from what we have today into that world? What do you hope stays?
Um, quick question. We've got 3 minutes until the top of the hour. Are you jumping on another call then, or could we go over by a minute?
We can go over by minute.
Okay, just one. Um, in that case, I want to ask you this exact question. What do you think the world will look like when you're 80?
I knew you were gonna do that. Um, I think the world will maybe have flying cars by then. I think that we will be a lot more of a global economy. I think power is going to shift from west back to east in a lot of capacities. Like, ooh, hot take. I know it's sensitive. I mean, like, I'm a student of history. Like, I just, it happens. So I think that there will be a lot of technological advances. I think the gap between rich and poor will be significant, which is like scary to think about. What I don't know. I think that there will be a lot more power at our fingertips. Maybe we'll be able to live on Mars by then. That'd be cool. By the time I'm 80, I could see it. I would love I'm like, this is like my Star Wars, Star Trek nerd girl, but like if we can go to another solar system before I die, that'd be dope. Please do it. Send me pictures at least.
What if you're an upload? What if you're a bunch of neurons in a silicon chip, and you get to go to another solar system? Are you going?
Alright, fuck yeah, I'm going. Take me there. I mean, I was um yeah, I think that's really cool. What I hope that we bring into the future is still like human love and compassion. I hope that there's not this level of like autonomy that forgets community and family and like chosen family, not just biological family. I think that there's like a scary part of like a future where like you incubate babies and you don't need to like love in the same way. I think what makes humans humans is that we have this beautiful capacity for grace and love and hope just as much as we do pain and suffering. But I think that like the beauty of being a human is to like live a life worth living. And I hope that our future kids don't forget that in the midst of all of the shiny objects that they'll have at their disposal.
Shiny objects we have, we still live in this meat suit, to use a.
Yeah, like I want them to be able to hug each other and not just like be on these goggles in the metaverse. Like that would terrify me.
You mean like our friendship is?
Basically, we are 1000% long distance friends. That's all we do. And I see you at least once a year though, and I give you a giant hug.
2026 one we need to line up. I'll be in New York at some point in July.
Amazing. And I'll be in Europe, so we'll figure it out.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
All right. I
Okay.
will talk to you soon. You know about Riverside uploads, obviously.
Yeah, I'll leave it there. I got you. Thanks, my darling. You're the best.
Sweet.
Bye.